What's up, fellas? It's your boy Kenny, just coming back with another one. What's going on? It's Sunday. My mind has been racing for a little minute now in terms of like anytime I pass by hospitals, I ask myself, what's really going on in hospitals? Have you noticed that when you pass by, when you go to hospitals, the parts that are accessible to you as a sick individual is a very small fraction of the total capacity of the hospital. No matter how many times you go to a hospital and how many times you get admitted in a hospital, if you awaken away, you realize that you keep going to the same area. But when you go outside of the hospital, you see how big, how huge the hospital is. And you ask yourself, is a hospital really a hospital? Or there's a whole lot more going on in the hospital? Me personally, I feel there's a whole lot more going on in the hospital than meets the eye. There's a small portion for schools, and there's another small portion, there's another huge portion, I think the bigger portion for top secret type shit. I'm talking about organs. Organs is not even top secret. Hospital got to move in organs. I'm talking about there's a huge portion in a hospital that is for labs. I'm not talking about hospital labs. I'm talking about government type shit, independent contractor type type shit. That's why when you pass through a hospital, like the hallways, there's a whole bunch of doors, a whole bunch of doors that you see all kinds of symbols, but you don't even get it. And if you try to open those doors, they will not open. You need special accessible pass to enter those places that are off limits in a hospital. It's usually at night. All right, it's usually at night from midnight to 6 a.m. that those places become, you start to see movements in those places. There are labs in a hospital. I'm not just talking about like, yes, there are other labs that you see, you know, out there like Quest Diagnostics and other labs, just to name a few. Those ones are labs that are out in the open. But just the same way the IRS has subcontractors, subcontractors, to do taxes and all that stuff, the government also has within all those hospitals subcontractor laboratories to get stuff done. There's so much more going on in a hospital, and the places where you have access to, it's a very small portion. A very small portion. I used to ask myself when I would go to a hospital, no matter how many times when I used to go, now I've not gone in a while, thank God for health. But I realized that I keep going to the same place. This hospital is gigantic. I keep going to the same place. When I come out of the hospital and I look at the size of the hospital, I'm like, no, no, no. There's so much more going on here. Look at all the space. No matter how many times you go, you realize you go to the same small portion. Whether you go into the through the ER, through the main entrance, you're gonna be led to the same hallway. There's just like 3 floors dedicated. Like the hospital could have like 20 floors, like 3 buildings, right? There's just like 3 floors that's dedicated to sick individuals. Believe me, I have no reason to make this shit up. There's just like 3 floors that's dedicated to sick people. The rest of it, a small portion too, is dedicated to schools. All right, a small portion in the hospital is dedicated to schools. All right. Now the other part, the rest of it is subcontracting laboratories for the government. It's top secret type shit. Believe me. Gene slicing, manipulation, all that stuff, they go on there. But you have no clue. Just the same way, there's so much going on. I mean, the hospital is just like, it's just like real life, like what goes on in real life, like, traffic and all that stuff, based on, I'm looking for the perfect example to use, but I hope you get my drift. Based on whatever pass, the doctor will give you a pass. Even this is not even like the top secret type shit, but if the doctor wants you to go to a certain place within the hospital that you do not have access to, they would give you a pass. All right? Or they would have someone escort you to go there. All right? Just think about it. Someone has to escort you there because there's so many places that you are not supposed to go. And that person who's going to escort you is usually like a doctor, but that person himself does not have access to everywhere. He only has access to what he's limited to based on his level of information that he's supposed to have. Your education will give you certain criteria, certain privileges within the hospital, but education is not all, because not everyone can go everywhere. Even the doctor himself, certain doctors cannot go everywhere, within the hospital. You have to, there's some deep, deep stuff that goes on in the hospital. And you, as a regular person, you're supposed to look at a hospital like it is a hospital. It says hospitals for the sick. No, there's so much more. That's just on the front. That's just on the front. Behind the scenes, take a look at it again. Look at how massive it is. Look at how huge it is. There are schools in the hospital, school sections, but school sections does not cover everything. School section just covers like a little small portion. But the main stuff a hospital is for government subcontracting, laboratory type shit. Do you know a hospital can give you a pill that will make you a superhuman? Let me let that marinate for a few. Yeah, a hospital can give you a pill that will make you a superhuman. I'm not making this shit up. The same way the foods that you eat can dumb you down, they can put stuff and chemicals in the food that you eat to dumb you down. In reverse, they can put stuff in the food that you eat that can make you a superhuman. That's why you have to be given birth in a hospital. All right? It's like a gateway to the other realm. They have the keys. That's why when you look at this symbol, you see the intertwining serpent. There's a reason for it. The hospitals is not what you think it is. They're doing the opposite of what they're supposed to do. Every industry is doing the opposite of what they're supposed to do. The hospital they have the keys to the heavens, y'all. I'm telling you, the hospitals have the keys. Look at their symbol, the intertwining serpent. Why do they have the intertwining serpent as their symbol in a hospital? Just so you can go there and they can give you a pill to get well? No. They can raise. Can't you think about it? There has to be something that you would have to take. A pill to make you Incredible Hulk. The hospital can make that. But they're under contract with the government. They're under the rules of the government. They're all being watched. Everyone is watching each other. You can't do anything in secret. If you do, they're gonna blackball you, get rid of you. Even on a smaller scale, when doctors try to come up with something to save people, what happens to them? They disappear, right? So the doctors are not who you think they are. The lawyers are not who you think they are. It's just like that. Everything. The cops are not who you think they are. It's everything is all in. Everything is all in reverse of what they're supposed to do. The cops are not who you think they are in the sense that they are there to serve the establishment, not the people. Same thing with the lawyers. They're there to protect the establishment and not the people. Same thing with the doctors and the lawyers and the doctors in the hospital. They're there to keep the people low down and not lift them up. All your meditation and all that stuff that you do is only going to get you so far. There has to be something that you have to take. And the hospital has those keys. All right. Same way the engineering companies that can make, super crafts to take you to the other side, to maybe another dimension. But they're not going to do that. Everything is just on a basic level because they're all under the control of the government to keep people down in this plane to serve the government. You go to school for, to get an engineering degree. You're thinking when you come out, except if you go and you do your own thing, but you're thinking when you come out, you're just gonna go and start inventing shit with those companies. Hell fuck no. They're gonna give you a job, they're gonna tell you do this, and you spend 3 years just taking orders, and you're like, I thought I was gonna come out and start inventing shit, because everything is as it's supposed to be. Every single thing. Every single thing is how they're supposed to be. They're not there for people. Now, if you want to make shit, you gotta have to go do your own thing. But if you start making shit, people are gonna start, sensing that you're making shit. Especially, shits to uplift. I mean, you can make stuff. You can see in your garage, make e-bike, make cars. But if you're gonna make something to disturb the mainstream, they're gonna start watching you. The stuff that you purchase. Why did you purchase all of them stuff? And the grid is about to go to the next level. The idea of, that's another video. But I was thinking about it. They tell you meditate and do all this stuff, and you meditate and you meditate. They've been meditating for thousands of years, and you didn't fly into another level. You know why? Because there has to be something you have to take. The doctors in the labs, they have to cook up something for you to take to become a superhero. But they're not going to do that. All right? Because when they finish school, they have to go get a job and do as they're told and work. And the more they try to, the more money they have to make, the more under the control of the system that they have to follow. And they cannot do their own thing. Because to do your own thing, you require a very strong will. And you have to be very secretive. And the way the world is, nothing is secretive, because people will start to sense the places that you go. Okay, you want to have a house in a remote place. People see you passing by that place every time. And after a while, people realize that you're going to talk to someone. You're going to keep running across someone. You're going to make a friend. So somehow the truth about what you're doing, the cat would come out the bag. Clues to start being gathered, about you and what you're trying to do. Right? So, the hospital is not what it seems. It's not what you think it is. They're way smarter than you think. It's beyond just going there to take a pill, going there for operations. They can make you a fucking superhuman. They have government subcontracting top secret labs within hospitals. Major hospitals, at least. The bigger the hospital, the more secretive stuff that they have in the back, behind the scenes. They have all kinds of, cash, just like they have all types of cards to give you certain access to different areas. And you, as, just a sick individual, you don't have any access to anywhere. Where you're going to go, they've mapped out where you're supposed to go. You're supposed to go to the bathroom, security desk, waiting area, and maybe inside a room to get treated. That's it. Like 4 places. Waiting room, ER, waiting room, security desk, bathroom. Those are the only places that you have access to. If you're here to visit someone, waiting room, security desk, bathroom, and the room of the person you're trying to in the room of the person you're trying to visit. All right? You, as a person, a nurse's aide who work within the hospital, you're just there to clean. You're just there to, administer people ID, take orders from the nurse. Even as a doctor, you don't have all the privileges that you want. You have more privileges and access to certain areas than the regular folks and the nurses and the people below you. But I also noticed something. When I used to go to the hospital a lot. Every time I go, I would either see one doctor or another doctor. And you would think a hospital this huge, this gigantic, I should be seeing different doctors every time I go, right? But every time you go there, there's only like 2 or 3 doctors that you have to see. Where are the remaining doctors? Because they're doing something else within the hospital that's not open for the public. Okay? Even the ones that you see, they can have like 20 clients under their belt. They're really not doing anything. They just come down, okay, when the nurse tells them that you're supposed to meet with them, okay, then they come, they just be like, oh, da 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 da. You take IV, I'm gonna stick this in your butt, see if it will help. And da 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 da, take this pill, take that pill, and that's it. Maybe during operation, that's a different one. But it's scary though. I was thinking, how's the way to become superhuman? Is it by meditating? Hell, fuck no. Meditating is not going to do it. Mushroom is not going to do it. They have to cook something in that fucking lab. Same way in the factories, if they want to make a specific product, they have to cook that shit. They have to put shit together to get that specific outcome. So if the doctors want to make you fucking like the Ant-Man, there are people in the hospital that can do that shit. But you don't see them. Because you're not supposed to know. Look at this symbol. Look at their fucking symbol. It's the intertwining serpent. That's very fucking deep. They have keys that they're not being accountable for because you don't think they're supposed to be accountable for. But don't think about what they're doing. Don't think about what they do. Look at their symbol. That's who they really are. The same when you look at the symbol of a place, the place could be a fucking run down place. And you going there for one reason that you think it's the real reason that you're going there for. But when you look at the symbol, it makes you think, oh shit, I've just been coming here for this. I've just been coming here to buy napkins all day. When I look at this symbol, it's a mummy. I'm just using an example. They're showing a mummy on this symbol. But all I come here to do is buy napkins. But now the mummy means that they can bring the dead back to life. I'm just using an example right now, all right? The mummy means that they can bring the dead back to life. I've been coming here for 6 years, and all I do is buy napkins and toilet paper. It makes you think. What are they? Am I just in blissful ignorance? What are they really about? But I'm not going to ask that because I've been taught to look at the mummy and think toilet paper and think napkins. So I come here to buy napkins. But it's more than napkins. They can bring the dead back to life because their symbol is a mummy. But I'm just looking at what the outside of the mummy, and I'm purchasing napkins from these folks for all my life. My dad has been purchasing a napkin. His dad has been purchasing a napkin. But even though I realize that it's a mummy, I don't have the authority to get that specific service from them because I'm just a regular guy. And millions of people are just regular people. And even if you were someone of some type of reputation, some kind of clout, there are levels to this shit. There are levels to this shit. Humans are supposed to be dumbed down, and humans are supposed to be just the way that they are. You feel me? There are levels to this shit. And it makes me think. That's why they show you in movies that the hero has to be secret, people watching him, following him. Because let's say you wanted to become like a superhero now, right? let's say you wanted to become like a superhero. In a movie, you would be, maybe you're telling your wife she's not going to listen. Then you decide to go become a doctor just so you can figure out what's really going on. Then while you're taking class, become a doctor. You go into, you start taking classes for gene manipulation, all that type of shit. Then you start to realize that even like the schools, they're guiding all the students into one direction. So you break out of that. You have enough information to follow your intuition. You have enough fucking info, right? Enough info to follow your intuition. So you break out of that. You start going to educate yourself. So you now have to start being secret, right? Because if you're not secret, then people start to sense what it is you're trying to do. So you have to have, an image to mislead people in another direction. You have to control what they think about you. So you should have an outward image to mislead people into thinking of you as a construction worker or a guy who just likes accounting. But really what you are trying to do is put two and two together to know how to become a superhero for maybe your unborn child that's on the way, because you don't want your child to deal with the same shit that most of all is to become a regular human. Maybe that's what the story of Jesus and Mary was all about. Maybe that's what the story really is about on another level. If Jesus never existed, they're trying to tell you the truth, but they're masking the truth with all types of distractions and confusing things that you're gonna take the wrong thing literal and be about that wrong thing your entire life and tell your child about that wrong thing. But your brain is gonna be too simple-minded to delve into what the truth is. The hospitals can make you a fucking superhero. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Like, I'm dead fucking serious about this. Think about it. The intertwining serpent is the symbol. But every day you go there, they give you Tylenol. Tyler fucking no. Okay? Tylenol. Tylenol and becoming a fucking Incredible Hulk is light years away from each other. They're dumbing you down. They're doing the opposite of what they're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to the hospital and tell them what beast you want to become. Then you pay them. Then they sit down and figure out what pill to make for you to become that hero, that beast. That's the job of a fucking hospital, man. That's what they're supposed to do. If they're serving you. Okay, I want my son to be Ant-Man. Ant-Man. You want your son to be Ant-Man? Okay. Why do you want your son to be Ant-Man? Because when he was young, I noticed that he was, I don't know. I had this dream that he could like become small and go into different places. Okay, I'll write that down. Mr. James, I think that's gonna cost you a lot of money. That's fine. I'm willing to pay the price to see my son become Ant-Man. I mean, I was here last week and I saw the other doctor, who I paid, a reasonable amount, and thanks to him, my daughter can fly, and she can fly in different color skin tones. She her eye changes purple. I just don't like the fact that her hair remains the same color. But thanks to that doctor, I heard he's been transferred to a different location out in Chicago. Maybe oh yeah, he was in Chicago last year, but now he's actually in another dimension, the fifth dimension, the neutral dimension, where waves are all that run everything, waves and tectonic plates. Yeah. Oh, he's in another dimension. Last time I heard it was in Chicago. Yeah, he got tired of it. He got actually transferred. Okay, back to this story. But I think this is gonna cost you a lot of money. But let me get together with my team. We have so many people that have paid for all kinds of things. But let me get together with my team, and we gonna figure out how much this is gonna cost you and how long it's gonna take. I must tell you, Mr. Miller, this once you make this decision, I'm also gonna get together on my team to see if this is reversible or not. I hope you're sure. I can't be so sure. My limits have been, upgraded. I'm no longer the same guy. I mean, my senses have been, upgraded 1,000-fold. I paid for that. So my intuition has been magnified to 1,000,000-fold. I paid for that too. So I'm sure that my decision is actually the correct one. And if I was wrong, I wouldn't be too far off the bullseye. So let's get on with it. Give me a call. Let me know uh, how much it's gonna cost, and I'll get her prepared. I think she's gonna like it. Sure. It's so nice. It's about time. I have an appointment. I have a client who, wants to be able to disappear. So what I'm gonna do is um, get together with my team and get that started. As you can see, I'm already halfway there. Oh, I can't even see your arm. Yes, I tested it on myself first, and it was a success, and it's gonna be an absolute success. And the client paid a fortune for it, so it's my job